GamingMalta stand, and I'm joined now by Tom McGovern, who is the Chief Operations Officer for Flutter Entertainment. Tom, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell me first, let's talk about the sportsbook area. How has that been evolving recently?
Well, the Flutter brands have always been at the leading edge of sportsbook innovation when you think about Betfair's Cash Out, Paddy Power's Money Back Special, sports bet in Australia, same game multis, you've got Request a Better, Sky Bet, so all of those things are innovations within Flutter. So we've always been at the leading edge of that, and we call that the Flutter Edge. And what we do is we develop these products in different divisions, and then we're able to cross-pollinate them across the group. So we're always investing heavily, particularly in our trading area. So when you think about same game multis on a single game, you could have 1 trillion combinations of bets on a single match. So, that's where the innovation is really happening in new product, but also the speed of delivery to customers and the choice too.
What other sort of product evolutions do you think we're seeing?
I think, an important product evolution for us will be super sub. So where you bet on, a player to score a goal and that player gets substituted, that can cause frustration for a customer. Now, what we're going to be launching soon is a product whereby the player who's substituted on, sort of your bet carries on to that player. So, it takes away that customer frustration. Oh, my player got injured in the first 5 minutes, that's my bet's gone down. So, we're really looking forward to that launching.
That's interesting. It gives a fairer play, really, for the customer in that sense.
And keeps them engaged throughout the match, because of course, as I say, if your player gets injured, sent off, whatever, that's the end of your bet. But in this example of super sub, the new player coming on will carry your bet on to the end of the match.
Interesting. Talking of growing trends, there's been a lot of increased interest in female sports, in esports. How do you see these trends sort of working their way into sportsbook products?
I think esports is still probably not a particular focus area for us, but definitely, we are continually keeping an eye on it. It's an area, it's a watching brief. We do, of course, offer it, but, it's not something we offer at scale just now. In terms of women's sports, this is growing exponentially. The Women's World Cup was the third biggest event for us after the men's and the Premiership. So, we see continued growth in that area. But women are also very popular with our gaming, of course. So, when you look at the demographics there, it's around 50% of our gaming products are used by women. And so we sort of are very much focusing on that area too. But we see huge growth in women's football particularly. So, it's fantastic to see the interest there.
Now, congratulations is in order. I believe Flutter Entertainment were listed on the New York Stock Exchange just this week. How do you see that impacting on your growth in the US market?
It's super exciting. I mean, it was fantastic, real razzmatazz to the New York launch, as you'd expect. And, this gives us access to deep capital markets. The liquidity of the New York Stock Exchange is fantastic and will turbocharge Flutter's growth into the future. There's also all those customers of ours, of FanDuel, who can now more easily invest in the brand they know and love, and that's important too. I think, as the US continues to grow, we anticipate by 2030 that's going to be something of the order of a £40 billion market. The rest of the world is around 320 billion, and it gives those US investors the opportunity to invest in a company that's also benefiting from that kind of 5 to 10% growth in international markets too. So it's a win-win situation. And we've also announced that we're moving our primary listing to New York, and London will become the secondary listing. And that's really because it's the right thing to do for our business. That's where the growth is happening, and that's where, we want to be at the forefront of that growth. And the American market is, exceeded all expectations. We've been profitable for the first time, the first operator to be profitable last year, and that's ahead of schedule. So it's fantastically exciting times.
Indeed, it sounds like it. Flutter as a company have received several awards recently, Best CSR, Workplace and Employer Brand. And from your experience, what are the aspects about Flutter that make you stand out in those areas for your employees?
Well, in Malta, we particularly pride ourselves on huge diversity. I think we have 19 languages spoken in our office and 23, 24 nationalities represented. So we have a positive impact plan, which is at, Flutter group level, but we also apply it locally. So we want that diversity in the workforce. We want the diversity of thought that brings, the creativity. We have invested hugely in that. And we, want our staff to, tell their own narrative, tell their stories, and we want to amplify that across the group so that people really understand the scale of the group, the opportunities there are. I myself was based in London up until 18 months ago, and I moved to Malta. It's that kind of flexibility in career that you can really grow for yourself at Flutter. And our Malta office is, fantastic in its own right. Plus you got, how many days of sunshine is it a year? I think it is close to the 365. So, we can't complain about that.
A lot more than here, I'm sure. Well, it's clear that it's not just tokenism within Flutter, which is wonderful to hear. How do you go about really attracting talent as well? What are the key points you think to attracting outside talent into the business?
Well, I think that we're prepared to go outside industry. So we very much look to bring people in who are at the start of their careers, don't have the experience in gaming, and we bring them in and train them, give them that development, and make the gaming industry a really attractive place to start your career. And it is that, the way we can paint a picture of, you might start in customer service, but you can move into, fraud, safer gambling, commercial, HR, the accountancy, finance departments, all of those departments are represented, and we enable people to move around by supporting their developments and careers.
Amazing. So there's a real career progression that can happen for someone joining.
And also, it's not just like vertical progression within your specialty, like within your department. We very much want people to be flexible, learn new skills. It's so motivating to, develop yourself, learn outside your comfort zone, and really stretch people into other areas so that they, become more rounded, add more skills. That benefits the business. It makes their career, interesting and fulfilling.
Definitely. You may have heard that GamingMalta have launched their Respect campaign. This campaign is about trying to highlight the facts and bust the myths about the iGaming industry. Can you tell me, from your experience working in the industry, what sort of preconceptions have you come across from people perhaps outside the sector?
I think there are preconceptions, sometimes negative, around the sector and how we protect our customers. And what's not widely known is the amount of investment we have in safer gambling. We want to protect our customers. We want gambling to be an entertainment. That's why, we are Flutter Entertainment. And this is something that should be taken as a fun thing to do, as something that is an add-on to your watching of a sports event. So we invest heavily in safer gambling from the perspective of deep, conversations into how people feel about their gambling. When they hit our internal control environment, those conversations will really delve into how they feel about their gambling. Do they keep it hidden from their spouse? Do they gamble more than they can afford? Of course, these are 20-minute, 30-minute conversations, really getting to understand the customer and, what they can afford and what is suitable for them. That's just unknown. I rarely meet somebody outside the industry who even knows we do that.
Do you think more news should be put out, more positive news stories really about those steps that are taken should be out there?
Absolutely. I think we need more balance. I think it's around 7,000 safer gambling interactions we do a month. That's just in the UKI division of Flutter. So, the fact that that's just unknown is in some ways frustrating. But, there are great examples where customers have, been interacted with. It's sort of helped them reflect on their own gambling and, change how they are interacting with us. And, if we feel there is risk there, we will impose limits on customers. We want them to, agree to a limit. But if they are proposing what we view as an unaffordable limit or unrealistic limit, we will impose that. And sometimes at the extreme end of that, we will impose a self-exclusion on a customer and say, sorry,
So getting more information out there will certainly help the industry gain more respect, I'm sure you'd agree.
Absolutely. I think it would be great for this to be widely known, how we interact, how we protects our customers, and some really excellent case studies about what we have done to improve that. I mean, we're continually evolving this as well. Ultimately, we don't want anybody to experience harm from using our products. We want it to be entertainment.
Tom, thank you so much. Enjoy the Malta sunshine and good luck with your US expansion. Thank you.
Thanks very much.